Greetings viewers, Hugh here coming to you from West Ealing, a station in West London. Hang on a minute, I did that intro 2.5 years ago. But regardless, the reason why I'm here at West Ealing today is because today marks the second new train launch of the week. And today, it's the GWR Class 230 battery train. So, without further ado, let's do it! So immediately here at West Ealing, the first thing to notice here on the platform that serves trains toward Greenford is new fast charging equipment has been installed for these trains as part of the trial, which sees these new, well I say new, they're new-ish in a way, D trains being trialled on the Greenford branch. So this fast charge equipment has been installed. I think there's another conductor system over there. I don't know, someone's pointing their camera over the platforms, I'm trying to do that as well, but these are some of the modifications they've installed here at West Ealing. We've got a little bit of time until the train comes back from Greenford, but yeah, second new train of the week. That's fun. So yeah, the train isn't here yet, as you can tell with the empty track, and there's probably a fast train that's going to pass which ruins the take, but there you go. What's interesting about this is that I've been thinking in my head, and technically today marks the day that the D78 comes home to London, because these trains are of course converted District Line D-stock trains that have been converted to run on the conventional rail network with battery power. So for the first time in 9 years, crikey, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, the D-stock is kind of back in a way. Anyway, the next thing you'll see is the train arriving, hopefully. That's a cool name for the train, I guess. Viva Ventura. Bit out of date, though. And here it is. Let's get on. Sound like SCR.
Welcome aboard this Great Western Railway service to Greenford. We'll be calling at Drayton Green, Castlebar Park, South Greenford, and the next station is Drayton Green, the railway service to Greenford.
Okay, and we are now underway on this new battery train. I've got to say, it looks quite nice, though it is quite busy at the minute, so I'll probably wait to look at the amenities until we get to Greenford, but so far, it's nice. And so these are the seats on the new-ish Class 230. They're obviously been retrofitted since these left the tube. What I've got to say, they feel a bit like bus seats, honestly, in my head. I've just arrived at Drayton Green, as you can see. They seem okay. I'm not sure what this logo on the headrest is supposed to be. I would guess it's some kind of thing to do with Viva Rail, which was the company that built these. Buzzy PA as well, but they seem to be decent enough seats. Again, these trains are just doing up and down the Greenford branch, which ain't too bad. Anyway, let's leave Drayton Green. It also seems fairly obvious to say this, but the in-car maps only show the Greenford line in there. So obviously these trains are supposed to be just used here on the Greenford branch for a bit. I don't know what the future plans are necessarily. Maybe they're going to be on the other Thames Valleys at some point, but for now, these are just a trial here on the Greenford line at the moment. But okay, so an important feature to look at on any of these trains is the toilet. So let's have a look at that. So, and it looks like exactly the same toilet that the 165 had. Cool. Does the job.
John, you know your triangle? I think some people did. For example, Jen,
maybe you. You
Okay, we've made it to Greenford. I didn't film much on that first journey up because the train was rather busy, but I'm going to use the opportunity of the time the train waits here at Greenford before it goes back to West Ealing to show you around the train. So let's do that. So when it comes to interior, you can see they do have some of the original seats here. And you can see they've also added USBs, which is a interesting addition. Though it's kind of odd to note that it's not the GWR maquette. I guess it's just the standard test maquette they had when these were being tested. But it is weird, because it's got GWR ads all over the top here. Yes, it's got all this purple and blue aesthetic, which is interesting to say the least. There is, of course, this large area next to the accessible toilet with the flip-up seats that allows people to get wheelchairs in, which is good. Of course, it's pretty much standard for any train to have accessible areas, and I'm pretty sure these have been here ever since these were converted from D-stocks to 230s, but it's always nice to see.
Is a security method. If you see South Greenford, this is a Great Western Railway service.
So I've got a test subject here, say hello, and we're going to test the charging port out. So he's got my phone cable, and we're going to charge his phone. So the charging port, as I said earlier, between the seats, plugging it in. Will it work?
It is working!
Woo! Thank you. So while we're back here at West Ealing, I think it's a good time just to take a quick look at the seats themselves. So they look to be the same as the Veramis 321s, which is interesting. Very weird symbol on the top, fairly average design, and there is a power point and 2 USBs at the bottom. Pretty decent stuff. One notable extra feature that these trains have that I don't remember the tube trains having is that they do have bins, which is a very nice feature. It is also noteworthy that these trains do have a nice altogether mix of tables and airline style seats, which is good. But again, I'm still just confused about the interior. I know it's because this was the prototype Viva Rail D train, but even then it doesn't match Viva Rail's old lime colours. Yeah, the weird purple, grey, blue look is slightly weird, and it contrasts massively with GWR's advertising on the top. But hey, it's just nice to see these in service, as I mentioned these coming in over a year ago in the What's Coming to the UK Railways in 2025 video, and they're finally here at least. I will also say one feature of these that is really hard to get used to is that you can walk between the carriages, which is something you couldn't do when these were on the district line. That is a very weird experience. I do find this art on the toilet rather bizarre, so I think that's supposed to say something else, but it's clearly been stickered over. Very interesting door tone. Battery, fast charge batteries, 220p.
This is
It's very weird stuff written on the toilet on this train. There's even more gubbins on here. Cost per mile, ownership comparison. So clearly a lot of stats that I don't know if Via Rail did this. Oh no, Viva Rail did do this. You can see that livery clearly matches the interior, this fast charge system. So now the train has finally become a little bit quieter. I probably should give thoughts so far. I've got to say, I quite like these. Of course it is nostalgic to me as I rode these when these were District Line D-stocks, but at the same time, you know, they're just nice and nostalgic, and also they feel really good in general as well. And it's nice to see battery technology being tested here, and it frees up a 165 for the Greater Western Network, which is always a good thing, at least. But I do quite like these. So we're coming back towards Greenford. I've got these three lovely guys with me. So guys, what do you think of the 230D train?
I say that they are fantastic trains, and I'm happy to see that Great Western Railway have acquired these trains that used to operate on the district line to run on these services.
I think these trains are a very good upgrade to the Great Western Railway network. It will offer more seating, I would say, and USB power socket for passengers.
Although these trains are battery trains, we still mark a great step up compared to the Class 165 and 166 turbos, which operate the 10 branches. So thumbs up to GWR, although it was deemed great to see full electrification, but this is a great first step. Well done, GWR.
Good to hear. Cheers, guys. Man, it feels weird being here at Greenford on a former tube train with a tube train back there. But for the first time back on a D78 after 9 years, because I haven't ridden these with London North Western, TFW, SWR with the Island Line 484. It just feels nice to be back, although one observation I would make is that the doors are crazy slow when closing. You'll see it in the next clip here, but they take a little bit of time to shut.
And your fellow customers. Respect.
No, I can't push it. I do wonder.
So one thing that is pretty cool about this train is that GWR has put up some nice information on the many records that this train has claimed, especially in travelling 200 miles on a single battery charge, which is a pretty good achievement, especially happening last year, which was of course Rail 200. Very fitting. So on the walls here, they do also have guidance of how the charging system works. So I'm just going to go through that. So how it works: fast charge rails installed at West Ealing Station. Train communicates with the fast charge system. You've got, as the train approaches, charging connectors are lowered. Contact is made with the top of the fast charge rails. Lineside power pack starts charging the train's batteries. Fast charge with an exclamation mark. And then when the train is ready to depart, charging stops until the next visit. So when I get back to West Ealing, we'll see that in action.
Step down from the train to the platform.
One really bizarre thing this train still has, which is obviously kind of self-explanatory because it's a GWR train, is the GWR announcement voice, which is very distinct. And I will always remember Daniel describing it as sounding like a very persuasive teacher. Or something like that, I don't know. So I'm now coming back down from Greenford to West Ealing. I've actually done a few back and forth journeys, but I'll see how it works out in the edit. Sitting on this bizarre singular seat here in the accessible area next to the toilet. What do I think about these trains? I think they're pretty good, I've got to say. The 165 is fine enough, but it's actually nice to see clean energy being used here on this branch line, and I do hope that GWR allows these trains to be used on the other Thames Valley routes, although hopefully electrification comes first, fingers crossed, although I wouldn't hold my breath considering rail investment in this country is abysmal at the moment. But these trains are a good enough start, and I'm very happy to see GWR finally bring these into service.
We are now approaching Drayton Green, service to West Ealing. We are now approaching West Ealing, the final stop on our journey.
Welcome to West Ealing. So I'm now back at West Ealing, and as I speak, this train has just reconnected with the charging circuit that allows its batteries to very quickly recharge for its return journey to Greenford, which is always fun. So I'm now back here at West Ealing, waiting for my Elizabeth Line train to take me home to edit this video, and depending on when you're seeing this, it might be out the day of the day I film this, or the day after, I don't know, hopefully I can edit quickly. But that's it. That was GWR's new Class 230 battery electric D train. I've got to say, overall thoughts, I really like it. First of all, it's just nice to see a derivative of the D78 back in London after 9 years. It's been too long, man, I miss those trains, so it's very nice to see it back, but clearly Viva Rail did a fantastic job in converting it into a battery train that can be used on a fast charge system, and also GWR in putting it here on the Greenford line, which really is a line that needed more efficient trains either way, and hopefully GWR can put these on some of the other small branch lines in the future. But either way, that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Big thanks to our supporters as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
You're gonna hop back in.